How's everybody doing tonight? Everybody doing all right? I have a confession to make. I suffer from debilitating stage fright. I heard some laughs there. I know what you guys are thinking. Some of you guys are thinking, no, there's no way this guy has stage fright. I'm up here on stage all the time. And you're right. I'm super comfortable up here. I never met a microphone I didn't fall in love with. I can get up here and talk to you guys all day long. Put 1,000 people in front of me, give me a random topic. I'm happy to just spitball. I am really good at BS. Well, that was a lot of BS. I think so. Cool, sure. Anybody missing a guitar? No, I am happy to get up here and talk. But that all changes the moment it becomes musical. If I have to sing, my voice will quaver and shake. My fingers will not find the strings of the guitar. If I'm playing piano, it might as well be Homer Simpson mashing the telephone without his dialing wand. It's terrible. And that's not even the worst. The worst is the blackouts. When I get really nervous, my mind leaves my brain, goes somewhere else, and I have blackouts. I don't remember the words. I don't remember the chords. I forget how to play guitar, a thing I have been doing since I was 14 years old. It's terrifying and one of the very worst experiences. My brother and I used to play in coffee shops and stuff when we were in high school and college. My brother Brian is my middle brother. He's 2 years younger than me. And we used to play a whole bunch together. And every once in a while we'd go out and we'd play something and I would just fall apart. And this one time, he had gotten a call from his buddy whose band got booked in not a coffee shop, Media Play. You guys remember Media Play? It was like the 90s superstore that sold, music and movies and books and games, the kind of business model that only works before Winamp and Napster. And so we were excited to go play this. We were telling everybody, we got our parents to come out, our friends were going to come see us. And I was telling everybody at work, well, I was in college, and my job at the time was working at Notre Dame in the OIT help desk. It was a great group, fantastic group. We had a lot of those folks are still here. We got Clay, we got Greg and Greg, Gwen, Jeremy. I mean, a lot of folks that you would still know and still recognize and remember. And my boss, the one and only, you know her as Katie Rose. Awesome. It was an awesome job, fantastic job to have. And of course, when I told them, they were like, oh, we'll come. We'll be there. We will be there. They were super supportive. They were wonderful, lovely, lovely group. And so we were super pumped. And, we were like, we gotta really amp this thing up. We had a very 90s playlist, by the way. We had the Verve Pipe and Wallflowers. We had Fastball. We decided to end it strong. We were going to come up with something fun and upbeat. We chose Bare Naked Ladies, If I Had $1 Million. Now, if you don't know Bare Naked Ladies, If I Had $1 Million, well, just by the title, you know about half the song, because it's like half the words are literally just, if I had $1 million. It's a call and response, classic thing. I did the call, Brian did the response. I'd say, if I had $1 million, and Brian would say, if I had $1 million. I'd say, I would buy you a K car, and he would say, a nice Reliant automobile, right? Really easy. In fact, if you go through it, there's like 9 lines I have to actually remember, 9 whole lyrics that aren't if I had $1 million, basically. And here we are in the middle of the second verse. My mind leaves my brain, and I go blank. I open my mouth, and nothing comes out. I'm still playing guitar, just like nothing happened, but I don't sing. Nothing. Brian, the consummate performer, professional, looks, and then just sings the next line, of course. Now it's my turn to call again. And I can't remember the words. The words, by the way, in case you have forgotten, are If I Had $1 Million. It's the name of the song, and I have forgotten to sing that line. And Brian, staring at me like, now what do we do to cover this? I do exactly the cardinal sin of performing, which is, hey, listen, the show must go on. In entertainment, the show must go on. If you make a mistake, you just cover it up. You just keep going. You just keep going. Like, the audience won't even notice. Or if they notice, they'll forget. And you just cover it up, and it's fine. What you don't do is freeze, stop, and say, thank you very much, and then walk off stage in the middle of a song. Not just any song, your finale. I was embarrassed. I was humiliated. I walked off stage. I'm fully expecting the Ninth Degree, and I come out. And, of course, I got my family, my friends, I got my coworkers from the help desk, and they're all super supportive. And I was like, you know what, actually that went okay. I was like, okay, nobody's gonna give me too much crap about this. I will never hear anything about this again. Next morning, I go into work. And there on the desk, the front desk, is a note from Katie. It says, I thought you might find this useful. She had purchased the Bare Naked Ladies CD to give to me so that I could learn the lyrics. Now, the obvious question is, why, Chaz? Why do you keep getting up there and singing and playing guitar or piano or ukulele or whatever you're going to do if it's so terrifying? And I've got a couple of easy answers for this. One is that I love music. I love the way it makes me feel. I love to express myself through it, and I want to do music. Two, I'm comfortable talking to you guys, but I'm not comfortable with music. But you don't grow where you're comfortable. You grow when you get out of your comfort zone. You want to grow, you want to get better, you want to practice, you want to get more comfortable with it. You want to grow and learn and develop as a person. And that's part of why I do it. And the third is because there are no do-overs in life. You make a mistake, an embarrassment, a humiliating experience and story like that, you might wish you had a do-over, but you don't. And nobody's ever going to hear about it because you're just going to bury that away. You're not going to get up on stage in front of all of your coworkers, family, and friends and tell all of them about all of your most embarrassing incidents and stories. Because, well, there are no do-overs, right? Unless you wait a few years. You get a job at Notre Dame. You work your way up. You transfer over to the OIT. You start an event called the OIT Coffee House. You start yourself as the MC. You set the set list. You set the themes. You run that for 10 years. You go up there and practice and practice and practice and perform and perform and perform. And then you were working again for Katie Rose one time, and you decide you're going to set the set list and the theme for the show as 90s. And then you stash a guitar on stage. You pick up that guitar. You loop it right over your arms, and then you invite your brother Brian Grundy from out of town to come up on stage to sing Bare Naked Ladies, If I Had $1 Million.
It's a do-over. Here it comes.
If I had $1 million,
If I had $1 million,
well, I'd buy you a house.
I would buy you a house.
And if I had $1 million,
If I had $1 million,
well, I'd buy you furniture for that house.
maybe a nice Chesterfield or an ottoman.
And if I had $1 million,
If I had $1 million,
well, I'd buy you a Toyota.
a nice Reliant automobile.
And if I had $1 million, I'd buy your love. If I had $1 million,
We'd build a tree house in our yard.
if I had $1 million,
You could help, it wouldn't be that hard.
if I had $1 million,
Maybe we could put a little tiny fridge in there somewhere.
Oh, I would stick all kinds of stuff in that fridge. I'd be like Coke Zero and some lunch meats and some kind of like, I don't know, mayonnaise
yeah.
and like some cheeses and crackers and some meats.
Anything you want to keep cold, you could put in there.
Okay, that makes sense. Hey, Brian, how would we power that refrigerator in the treehouse?
Love.
If I had $1 million,
If I had $1 million,
well, I'd buy you a fur coat.
but not a real fur coat, that's cruel.
And if I had $1 million,
If I had $1 million,
well, I'd buy you an exotic pet.
yep, like a llama or an emu.
And And if I had $1 million,
If I had $1 million,
well, I'd buy you John Merrick's remains.
all them crazy elephant bones.
And if I had $1 million, I'd buy your love. If I had $1 million,
We wouldn't have to walk to the store.
if I had $1 million,
We'd take a limousine 'cause it costs more.
if I had $1 million,
We wouldn't have to eat ramen noodles.
but we would still eat a ton of ramen, right?
Oh, a ton of ramen, yeah. And like the really expensive ramen with like fancy mushrooms and
Oh yeah, like the Japanese style ramen. Yeah, with like
yeah,
the
yeah.
soft-boiled eggs cut in half. Those are super
Yeah.
good. And oh yeah, that the like the fancy meat that takes like 28 hours to make. Yeah, it's
but
really
like
good.
really exotic meats like buffalo.
Kobe buffalo.
Yeah.
If I had $1 million,
If I had $1 million,
well, I'd buy you a green dress.
but not a real green dress, that's cruel.
And if I had $1 million,
If I had $1 million,
well, I'd buy you some art.
a Picasso or a Garfunkel.
And if I had $1 million,
If I had $1 million,
I'd buy you a monkey.
haven't you always wanted a monkey?
And if I had $1 million, I'd buy your love.
Oh,
If I had $1 million,
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 if I had $1 million, I'd be rich.